I would like to illuminate some aspects of the genderless social dance concept, which is based on the premise that dance situations may create a space which suspends everyday life's social roles, including sex based roles, and as a result, induce reflection, critique, and deconstruction of these roles. I will use the examples of queer tango and contact improvisation, which both carry, from the inception and at least partially, the concept of genderless encounter in movement. Firstly, it is important to underline the direct and fine relation between the way we think or speak about ourselves as social dancers and the quality of the movement that we experience, as the particular mindset always resonates with particular corporeality. One of the reasons why people dance queer tango may be the possibility of an authentic personal meeting. To make it happen, inevitably one must leave behind the preconceptions about each person and abandon imposed ways of acting upon them, abandon men's and women's dance roles, abandon leaders and followers roles, abandon the idea of masculine and feminine energies, and devote ourselves to each person as a complete, indivisible individual being present right in front of us. The dance may be genderless when it leaves behind the imposed sex-based roles and bears some deeper levels of personality. Contact improvisation at time of its creation in 1973 was an experimental response to the rigid structures of classical and modern dance. It contradicted the strict gender roles of ballet dancers, hierarchical relationship between modern dance choreographers and their companies. It resulted in an egalitarian social practice of dance jams and improvised performances, radically unifying the visual appearance of dancers and emphasizing unisexual, universal qualities of movement. What parallels to the queer tango development can we find? In tango, even in its traditionally patriarchal setting, leading always means listening to your partner, therefore following at the same time, and following is never purely passive. Contact improvisation develops this interrelation further and gives up the terms of leading and following. For discursive reasons, this generalizing dualism is being differentiated in an active or passive attitude in each case with a demanding, respectively responsive character. The constant intertwining creates a truly egalitarian duet of two dancers dancing exactly the same role. At some point, it is not possible anymore to analyze or grasp intellectually the current role, as the dancer's mind switches to an intuitive, primordial state. Also, the corporeality of the dancer changes. The general muscular tone regulates itself, the contraction and release coordinate efficiently, the center and periphery, the extension and compression find balance. There are no roles anymore. There is only an embodied, centered but open and responsive attitude. How present is this state in queer tango? It may be close to the euphoric and dramatic late-night hours of many milongas, when it's easier to connect to a partner quickly, directly and deeply. But this experience is not constricted to last sweaty tandas. One can also begin the milonga with the evening's deepest connection. It takes patience in this particular moment, some radical listening, and a kind of bareness. Just observe the stillness of being together and notice that it does not exist. There is no stillness. If you are alive, there will be always movement in you. Your breath, your postural reflexes, your gaze always dance and react to your partner's still dance. It may be an awkward feeling if you catch yourself thinking, oh, I was supposed to lead, let's do a move. Deny the responsibility of initiation. In the dance, you are not the boss. You are not the real man. You are not the devoted follower. Maybe you don't have a gender at all. You are one half of this duet. The responsibility stands on four legs. Take your time. Take all the time. On the other hand, if you think, I'll follow whatever you command, I'll stay calm and react on time, then you are probably already too late. Let your sentient body resonate to all the reflexes, weight adjustments and yawns which happen in you and between you and your partner. For the sensation is the foundation of every voluntary movement. Some schools of contact improvisation aim directly this attentive, unbiased state. It is learning partnership through mutual empathy, self-responsibility, shared responsibility, and empowerment. Often it happens by deploying somatic methods such as Feldenkrais or body-mind centering, which instead prescribing the visual appearance of the dance form, guide the dancer through internal sensations and search for the visceral roots of movement. Does it mean the traditional formal aspects lose their entitlement? Not necessarily, much more so they are instantly filled with sensation and expression. Figures in tango and pathways in contact improvisation can happen much more than can be executed. This approach trains the dancer as a skillful mover, able to recognize the movement as it blooms, and ready to take action and respond at the same time. At some point, the mentioned radical listening, an apparently passive attitude, gives the dancer a felt overview over the situation and a profound sensation of orientation and self-authority. It allows the dancer to use the forces which are already there, such as grounding or spatial extension, to ignite strong voluntary movements. The expressive energy can be turned into sharp munition for viagitanda or in an endless flow of a valse. In contact improvisation, it literally elevates the dancer into an acrobatic flight over the dance floor. The control over the expressive quality of the movement, rather than over its form, seems to be crucial, and even in a traditional tango setting, it is constantly expected from both roles, showing again the flaws of dualistic formalist thinking. Why improvise? There are two reasons. Firstly, in a pluralistic society, each dance encounter is different, and there is simply no prescribed ideal way to move. Secondly, I understand social dance as a daily life situation in which lay people have an opportunity to dance the way they can, maybe even the best way they can. In contrast to a professional dance, where the dancers are often expected to display a kind of perfection. Also, from a practical perspective, the time spent on training and on actual dancing differentiates a social dance from a professional one. Improvisation should not be understood as a lack of professional skills, though, because actually improvisation techniques are part of every dance curriculum. Much more so, improvisation is a basic skill which is available to every person, which has roots in intuition, in encounter with the unknown, with geniuslessness and genderlessness, and which can be developed methodologically. In this regard, improvisation is an intuitive action in a perceived stream of unique situations. The preconception of two generalized roles may essentially reduce the actual potential and fullness of the dance, not because it frames and structures, but because it may distract from the mindset of open-ended curiosity and the willful not knowing, not perceiving. And in contrast to perfecting the convenience of a form, improvisation is able to take you in a blink of an eye to a place where you have not been yet, and where you have even not thought of. In improvisation, your role emerges as you perform it, and you grasp it in its great clarity and complexity as you do it. A live improvisation deepens the qualities of movement and connection with the partner. It discerns personal habits and imposes social behavior. By its transformative potential, it may be a convenient structure for a constant redefinition of a queer dancer's identity.
Ich habe gedacht, das ganze Stück bis dahin. Dass ich da, wo ich bin. Genau, von weiter, ich sehe mich da hinten. Genau diesen freien Bild.
Wo standen wir hier?
Ja, den war ich hier. Lenny, und du fährst geradeaus, ne? Nicht abdrängeln.